Hi YouTubers, today we're going to work on the 1-inch punch, starting with each of the little mechanics of the foot all the way to the hand and how to gain power from the ground, from the gravity of all around us, and from the muscular structures and joints in your body to be able to get that 1-inch punch power. Disclaimer of the fact that technically, maybe a 1-inch punch is not really literally 1 inch. 1-inch power just means short range distance power, or the end part of the whip. I want to make impact at that slightly outside 90-degree angle. That perfect angle we're talking about, that's the point you're going to hit at. The rest is going to be follow through and extension. So here, I'm going to hit at that just outside 90 and then follow through the target at least about my whole hand or even up to my wrist. From here, boom, all the way through. Once I'm ready to actually power through it, whole body should be relaxed, no tension in the mind. Then I'm gonna explode or burst from that moment and think about driving through the target with all that impact. I'm gaining power from every little joint and every little muscle, as well as I'm pushing off the ground to gain power from gravity as well. So part of the gravitational power is shifting of weight. There's a perfect balancing point right about here. Slight bend, just like the slight bend in the arm, where I can get that power to push off. So I want the whole leg, rear leg, to be a spring. I'm on the ball of my foot in the back. This is where the power starts. I'm going to push and press off that foot. These are both bending and extending at different times. So this one extends first, this one extends second. So it's almost like Tai Chi pushing, right? Shifting the weight, dipping, and pushing. Once you actually hit, and if you lean that weight into it, even taking off the front foot, you'll see that the energy goes right back to that back leg. The hips are going to rotate at the same time. But as my hip turns, this corkscrewing motion is happening with my lead leg. So pushing off the back foot like a spring, shifting the weight to the lead, and now turning the hip. Yeah? It's like this is launching your body into the target, right? Launching. Just spring from the back leg. So that's hip part. So I'm popping the hip out, turning my body. So my whole waist is going to start to go from looking forward to be kind of sideways. All of this is going to be done explosively when you actually do it. Snapping the hip, pushing off the ball of the foot, transfer the weight. The more explosive you do it, the more power is going to be in it. Boom. You have to be really loose. That's why in the beginning you got to have that relaxation in your mind and your body. We're going to work on the upper body, the shoulders. So the same thing with as the waist turns, the shoulder is going to pull back a bit. Rear shoulder is going to pull back. So relaxing that arm and pulling back. And this one is going to hit and drive forward. It's like a twisting whip. So as I'm pushing and twisting and hitting, then energy is traveling to each joint. So one adds to the next, adds to the next, adds to the next. So I'm adding, first starting a little bit ahead with the ball of the foot, putting pressure. Ankle joint goes to the knee, knee starts to extend, hip starts to rotate, waist and shoulder starts to rotate. And finally, the end part of the whip is from the elbow to the wrist and then the punch. I'm just going to throw the arm into the bot. So relax and whip everything in. So the elbow, because I'm holding it here, is going to be that slight bend like I said earlier, right? You can keep it a little bit back, maybe around 90, and then we're going to hit an impact at that perfect outside 90-degree, 45-degree angle. So my actual hit should be right there. Now the left hand, you could do almost whatever you want. It's a 1-inch punch. If you're in a fighting stance, of course, you're going to be hitting it maybe with your hand up or guarded, whatever, or anything. But right now, I'm just going to let it relax so you can really feel that tension. So it's better to relax the arm if you can. Let it hang on your side and throw. So I really feel I'm almost scooping, almost like that Tai Chi movement with the brush knee twist, right? Brush knee push. So I'm brushing this shoulder back, and that one's coming out the hip. Opening the hand, you're gonna snap up in the wrist like we do with the chain punch. When we do the chain punch, we do that same wrist snap. So now relax the arm, snap. This is explosively extending. Like two joint straightening. If I'm grabbing my fingers and my shoulder's the other line, I'm just gonna, like someone's pulling my fingers straight. Now finally, you're gonna collapse and pull the fingers in. And part of that is relaxed and letting, as the momentum carries forward, you're coming toward your fingers as you're collapsing. So I feel like I'm almost running into my hand, or running into my fingers as they're rolling up. They're rolling up as I'm hitting, like that. So the momentum, when I actually explode, I just let my fingers relax, and they'll roll itself into my hand. It's just rolling up. So you can even kind of hear that snap. All right? It's really relaxed. You get that snap. My fingers are loose, and I'm rolling into it as my arm's moving, and then I clench only at that last second. If we did first as a 6-inch punch, a little bit further away, right? My hand's outside, connected here. Maybe I have my arm relaxed for now, just at my side. And I'm just gonna hit like that. See the transfer of weight. Relax the mind, relax the body, calm everything so that you're really loose, and you just explode out. So everything only moves forward, straight out. When you do the 1-inch, it's much closer, and you just out the fingers. So yeah, maybe your fingers are longer than 1 inch. You could also do it as you might have seen someone do the 0-inch punch. You don't have to hit it from this far, you can hit it from this far, you can even hit from close range where it's already almost completely in contact. Maybe it's truly like a 1-inch punch at this point, where I only put maybe my first knuckle on it and I hit it, right? And I still can get a lot of force there. You're gonna impact with a lot of force, but your body weight is so much driving that it's almost like a press at the same time too. I'm here and I'm hitting, right? Now when I fully relax and I extend completely, you're gonna see the full extension of the arm, and I'm gonna hit it. Okay. Show sometimes you'll heap the hand out there like how Bruce Lee did, right? Boom, and then just kind of here. So when I'm doing it in the air, right, it's like boom, and then I'm snapping and then I'm bringing it back. So I'm still whipping and drawing it back, but I keep my arm out there. Now, of course, you can still boom and pull it all the way back and get the same kind of thing. So if you think it's too much like a push and I'm not retracting the arm so much, we can try the same thing. So if I did the same thing, but this time I retract the arm more, it's the same, right? I got the same forward power impact, but I actually snap back on the arm instead of held it out there for like that pose. Another thing that happens internally is my body is also exhaling. So the hips, also you don't want to extend back. I'm almost extending forward with the hip as I'm doing that because my weight's transferring. That should happen already. And when I transfer my weight here, my hip's driving forward. With my breath, I'm also breathing out there. Now you could make the sound, you could make a ki sound. That's another way to do it. Like, right? And that yelling with your breath going out can also give you more energy as well. So if you really need to break something or go through something, adding a little voice along with your breath can create more of that tension that you need at the end of your punch. And even that power from the voice and the breath can mentally give you the right follow through or aggression into your strike to make that impact even stronger. Engaging the core, tucking the hips, and I'm driving my hips forward and turning. right? Then the last part is the breath is going out. So I'm breathing out as I make my impact. A little bit more force in it by using the breath and the voice at the same time. I also have a sinking kind of feeling in my shoulder down to my elbow, sinking it down. Even in the impact, I'm kind of hitting through the target and a little bit down into it as well. The bob doesn't really feel, but when a person gets hit this way, they definitely feel it, that energy going in. Now a bob, he'll just give you the honest how much force is in it, but doing that to a human is much different. So when you actually get that sinking feeling and dropping the punch into the target, not just forward, but also sinking it. So like almost when I'm breathing out, that breathing out also helps me sink the energy into the target. Sinking at the end, boom, and that's when all the power is going to be driven into it. And when you hit an actual person with it, they're not going to go back, but they're also going to sink. That's why you see the guy falling into the chair, because he felt that sinking heaviness from Bruce Lee's punch. So it's not just a force back where he was just blowing back that way, but he had to sit. And that's why they put the chair there, because then he knew he was going to drop him with that punch. The punch doesn't just push back. It also folds you and makes that sinking pressure have to make you fall or sit. All right, so I hope that made sense to you guys and you're able to figure out how that one-inch punch works now. That you can gain power from the ground all the way through the joints and muscles of your body and make it all focus onto one target or one point on the punch. Another thing, if you didn't know, if you didn't see from the other videos, you're hitting with the whole fist when you hit the dummy or the bag or whatever you're going to break, a wooden board. Main points are on the last 3 knuckles instead of what most people do with the top 2 knuckles when you turn a punch. When you turn a punch versus the vertical fist, that snapping motion actually has more impact on the bottom 3 knuckles and kind of the whole fist. I eventually hit the 4th knuckle as well, but if I was to think about flat how all 3 hit at once, and then maybe that 4th one hits a little bit after. So as it compresses, 3 knuckles hit simultaneously and hit here. Of course, if you go real detailed, most of the pressure wants to be on that center knuckle, right? The center, if you call this is the 2nd knuckle, right? So most of the weight is here because it's your largest knuckle. Then all of it goes in. So maybe if you're counting punch by punch, it's like 1, most of the pressure, 2, 3, then 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Boom, like that. All that hitting at once in a very fast concession. You're just going to impact it. Almost it feels like all at once, but all the pressure is mostly on that 2nd knuckle. Then a little more, and then a little more, and then a little more, and every other knuckle after it. So I'll see you guys next time. Remember to like, share, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. And talk to you guys soon. Train hard.